Music may be the thing Boston is known for other than sports. This city has iconic concert halls like Rock City Plaza, House of Blues, and the TD Garden Center. Music legends like Aerosmith and the Pixies have come out of Boston, and great music artists, usually graduates of the Berklee School of Music like Bryce Vine, continue to come out of the city. Allston in particular is a hotbed for new indie bands. Anywhere there's a basement in Allston, there's probably a band playing. Going to house shows on the weekends was one of the best ways for a broke student to spend a Friday night. Unfortunately, the pandemic has put a damper on the fun of local music, live music, and house shows. This past March has marked 1 year of the COVID-19 pandemic. In order to prevent the spread of the virus, any activities where large numbers of people gather together have had to be banned, and the entire local music scene is essentially gathering together in large numbers in packed, tight spaces. Concert venues have been closed, bars have had to be shut down or operate in limited capacity for the last year. Perhaps the greatest blow to the Allston music scene was when the Great Scott had to close down due to not being able to pay the lease. There was a campaign to save the Great Scott that raised about $20,000, but that still wasn't enough to save the location. There are rumors floating around that it might be reborn in the old Regina Pizzeria location on Cambridge Street. We Became Whales, an Allston-based band, is made up of 5 men of STEM who attended or are attending BU. Okay, can you guys introduce yourselves to the camera for me?
Yes. Hi, I'm Patrick. I play guitar for We Became Whales.
And I'm Teo. I play bass guitar.
Barack plays the drums.
Hey, I'm Thor. Play the keys in the band. Gotta please my friend.
Yeah, you're breaking the fourth wall. Aiden sings and plays guitar. They practice in the Marina, the affectionate performance venue name for the BU Water Polo House basement, which is where the band is featured in this documentary. They formed in the winter of 2019 and only got to have the normal college band experience for a few fleeting months.
Yeah, and then we started playing our first shows around like February.
Yeah, 2020.
Oh yeah, I remember those. Those were good.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
last few.
Yeah, how many shows did you get to play before everything happened?
It was 3.
Is it
Just-
only 3?
Yeah.
Wow.
Holy shit, I bet.
Can take all my time in my mind.
Wait, did you guys even like release a song before the pandemic, or was that post-pandemic?
That was all post-pandemic,
That was all
yeah.
post.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we were just playing live before then, really.
After everything shut down, they were coerced into pivoting towards writing and recording songs. Their singles, Warm Waters and Singularity, were both released during quarantine in 2020. We Became Whales managed to make do with the resources they had during quarantine to cope with the circumstances. Despite distances and emotional tolls of the pandemic, they kept writing music and shifted their recording methods to make it work. There may have even been some silver linings. All right, and what's it been like not doing live shows?
It sucks. I miss it so much.
I mean, it was definitely a bummer that COVID happened. I mean, we were lucky enough that a couple of us lived together through quarantine, and so we've become like much better musicians in that time. And you can hear Thor blasting the keys over me. He's a blessing.
Right, and yeah, weren't you like in Vermont for like a hella long time? Like, how did that affect things?
I was in Vermont for a while.
Cold,
Yeah, I have been. Yeah, so that didn't affect things positively, probably, because I was back there for spring break when we still had spring break last March, and then they were like, yeah, 2 more weeks, and then you can come back or whatever, April 14th or something. Clearly that didn't happen, so I ended up just staying there through the summer. So I wasn't really around much. We couldn't play live anyway, but I think that maybe like we could have practiced and all if I were around. So, yeah, I have been called out.
It's honestly been kind of interesting and like helped our sound a little bit in some ways. Like just recording everything isolated kind of sounds better in general. Because before we were just recording everything at once in one room, which there's definitely a limit on how quality recordings you can get out of that. But yeah, we just sort of kept bouncing ideas off each other, sending little snippets of songs through Google Drive, and just like recording over each other's parts, and we ended up making some interesting music that way.
The members of the band had big dreams for where they could have been if the pandemic hadn't happened, but their sense of optimism still shines in this reality where a pandemic did happen.
Definitely on tour, nationally, probably internationally. Right now, this time of year, yeah, probably like Seoul or something. Tokyo maybe.
Rock stars, obviously.
Yeah, probably not in
top
college.
40, probably.
Top 20. I think we would have just kept playing live a whole lot, and I don't know if we'd probably still have at least these 2 songs out. I think we would have at some point naturally transitioned anyway to like trying to record and put stuff out. I think we would have just, yeah, I don't know. I mean, we all love playing live, and that we probably had kept that live momentum, and that would have been nice. But yeah, as I said, top 40.
Who knows, really? I think we've gotten a lot better together as a band, and who knows? Some people liked listening to us play before the pandemic happened, and I think we could have ridden on that for a while. So hopefully we can get back to that once everyone's vaccinated and we're back to playing real shows again.
The band is currently working on a double-sided EP. There's no official release date yet, but it should be coming soon.
How is it going to be different from Warm Waters or Singularity?
Well, those singles that we have out already are sort of like the sound that we naturally fell into, just like playing in a basement, making loud noises, and we kind of just wanted to make these other versions of those songs that sort of challenge our ideas of like between the style or even just like what makes the song that song, just sort of exploring different ways to approach the same music. And so we've just sort of delved into this different little world. I think it's kind of cool.
This summer weather and access to vaccines has everyone hopeful for the next couple of months, and the Whales are no exception. They're eager to get back to playing live shows again, even if it looks a little different.
Hopefully, very soon, everyone's getting vaccinated. We can have some vaccination shows maybe. People have proof that they were tested recently and are vaccinated. That'd be pretty cool. I don't know, policy-wise and everything when that's going to happen and how it's all going to work, but hopefully soon. Hopefully this summer.
Yeah, so we were actually just talking about outdoor concerts, sort of. I think Thor was saying, or somebody was saying that they saw people playing out at the Commons and places like that. And once we're all fully vaccinated, past that like 2 weeks after that, I think we're gonna like see what we can do potentially. It is tough this summer because Teo and I both won't really be around much. I know I can come in for something, but yeah, I think once we're all vaccinated, we'll try to do something outside or here.
Overall, the Whales are enjoying working on songs together, and it'll be exciting to see where the future takes them.
No, you seem like super passionate about this. Like, you thinking like long term? 5 years? 10 years?
We'll see what happens.
The Boston music scene as a whole may finally regain some life this summer. After having to be shut down for an entire year, performance venues will be able to open back up in limited capacity on May 10th, when Phase 4, Stage 2 of reopening is set to happen. Unfortunately, a lot of smaller clubs and bars don't see themselves opening up for performances anytime soon, at least not before this fall. A lot of establishments don't have room to allow CDC guidelines and to be able to host more than 10 people or so. With vaccinations starting to stagnate and the variants of the virus continuing to circulate, it's hard to know what the future of local music will look like. But where there's a will, there's a way.
All right, is there anything else you would like to say to the camera while it is here?
Follow Kim Wales on Instagram, Spotify.